What is up, guys? Welcome to Straight Edge Wrestling's This Week in Wrestling, November 8th edition, the day after AEW Full Gear, which was a good show.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. It screwed me today. It really did.
It caught up on me, to be honest. It caught up on me. I've been focusing all week on, other little things that have been happening in the news, like an orange man that's going to be dragged out of the White House.
Well, it's not like you've had much else to do this week, really, is it? So
no, I've been in quarantine all week, so I've been watching lots and lots of election coverage and actually watched every wrestling show, which is for the first time in a while.
Well, it makes me quite funny with the American election every time a certain ginger person, or orangey person,
or orange man,
decides to go behind in the polls. It's a conspiracy.
That's it. It's the end of the world. But that's it. He's being future endeavored by the American people. He's a WWE Hall of Famer, so it's topical. We can discuss it, right?
He's going to strap himself to the bed, mate. He ain't leaving.
I said to you, if he leaves voluntarily, he's going to set fire to the curtains on his way out.
They're going to have to have a tase and we'll shoot him to get him out of the house.
Literally like a blow dart, like an elephant. But anyway, this week in wrestling hasn't been that great. For the shows, for the TV shows, I should say. But Full Gear I liked. There's also not been a lot of news, but we have some bits. So we'll start with the news and then we'll go into the shows. So, although it's been rumored, we now know that Undertaker's final farewell is going to be happening at Survivor Series on his 30th anniversary. Whether or not it actually is his final farewell is yet to be seen. Obviously, they've been doing a lot of programming on WWE Network for The Undertaker for his 30th anniversary. They've just today released The Mortician, the story of Paul Bearer, which I just finished about an hour ago, which is great. They've done one called How I Met The Undertaker, Meeting The Undertaker. All these wrestlers talking about the first time they met him. And The Viper and the Phenom, which was great. But, yeah, we've got a 30-year anniversary thing for him at Survivor Series.
You think it's going to go as well as Triple H's 25th anniversary?
Unless it finishes with Vince coming out, going, who knows?
Yeah, he'll come out with a contract saying, "No, I've still got more years out of you, mate."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just signed you to a 20-year deal like 2 years ago. It should be good. It's obviously a ratings thing because no one's really that interested in Survivor Series this year.
That's because there's no real fucking build up to it.
No,
all you've got is teammates beating each other up this year.
Yeah, and we just had a draft. We just had a draft. So most of these guys that are going to be facing each other on one or now on one team were just on the opposite brand like a month ago. It doesn't make any sense. We know that WWE this week dropped their pursuit of not dropped their pursuit. They dropped their ownership of the Cody Rhodes trademark.
Yep.
Finally. They just did it out of the goodness of the heart.
Cheers last night for that name being.
Yeah, which is even funnier because when Cody didn't own the name, he would go on and on about it a million times. I don't want to wrestle under that name. I don't want to wrestle under the name. I just want to wrestle under Cody. The second he can, that was it. Cody Rhodes was back. But that was cool. Yeah, it's good. They dropped a lot of trademarks. They dropped Brock Lesnar. They dropped quite a few various trademarks. Of people's real names that aren't really with them anymore. So, why not? We know that AEW is now working on multiple games, not just a simulation game, but multiple games.
Well, yeah, because they tried giving everyone a fucking seizure on the pay-per-view last night when I couldn't work out what I could make out about game and a bit of YouTube, but the way everything was fucking flashing at you.
Yeah, so obviously AEW Gaming has got a new YouTube channel coming up, and they've got essentially two games: a simulation game like our traditional game that we know, WWE 2K20 and all that stuff, and then a GM game.
I bet fucking TEW's happy about that one.
Yeah, so exactly. Especially because we know Tony Khan is a big TEW guy. He's spoken about it many times that he used to play TEW when he was younger. So now AEW is just gonna make their own, which is cool, I guess.
Depends how they fucking do it.
If they do it in a way where it's like open source, so you can add WWE and all this stuff, that's kind of cool. If it is like the old GM mode, that's fine.
Yeah,
but we haven't really got many people.
Apart from it, we naff because that's not how AEW is built.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have a general manager. They don't have, and that's and they don't
have
really have.
They have one main show that everyone wrestles on anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's not going to be like the money thing and the combat thing. So yeah, I don't really get how they're doing it unless they build their own virtual world with Ring of Honors and New Japan. But that would also be a big deal that they'd have to try and sign with those guys, which I don't necessarily see coming.
Not with New Japan anyway.
No.
They stole Kenny's and they're still bitter about it.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh god, yes. The shows then. So Raw, what do you think?
To be honest, to say apart from NXT was slightly better than the rest, but they were all subpar really. They all had good matches, a few things going on in them, but nothing that throwing out saying this is amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Raw started with Randy Orton cutting his promo. I like the promo, him saying that he's now a legend, not a legend.
The star for me when it come to Raw was Bliss.
Yeah. She's been
She's
killing
playing that character well.
So well. The thing which I don't get is they've made it very clear over the last couple of years, ever since the McMahons and Triple H done their promo, there's no automatic rematch for any titles, and yet here we are with Drew and his automatic rematch thing that he's I'm going to get my rematch. So, but
he hasn't been given one yet. So
no, not yet. But he clearly is at Survivor Series. But it's like
he's not getting one at Survivor Series, is he?
I think he is. I think he's going to get a triple threat rematch. Yes.
Well, it's not for the belts
yet.
Oh, what? So you're going to basically put Roman Reigns winning both titles?
Well, see, I don't know if they're going to do two matches or not, because there's been discussion about Randy doing both his Roman match and a match against Drew and The Fiend.
What's the fucking point in that?
Oh, I don't know, but either way, they're going to have him do a rematch. If it's not a Survivor Series, like some people are insinuating, it's going to be at the next pay-per-view.
Well, shit, we all knew that one was coming, but
yeah, but it just makes no sense when they've been making it very, very clear that you don't get rematches. There's no rematches until they need a rematch.
They've also made it clear about other stuff and never go through with it.
Why do you think
AEW gets this thing going through of don't live up to what you promised?
To be fair, that WWE did stick to that rematch thing for like the best part of 2 years, and then it all sort of fell apart during the Thunderdome, during the beginning of the COVID era, where they were just like churning out Apollo Crews matches every week, basically. But there's just nothing that. So there's nothing really on Raw and SmackDown for that matter, because it's just contender matches for 5-on-5s that no one really cares about.
Because you've got no build between the shows, so no rivalry between the shows, and everyone's just trying to beat each other up in their own tents.
But also, like, I don't really care even about a rivalry between the shows, because I saw like Jimmy Van and Sean Ross Sapp say, why don't you put stakes on it? Something like, the winner of the winning team gets number 30 in the Rumble, or the winning team, each member of the winning team gets a shot at their top title or any title of their choosing, whatever. Put stakes on it or something, rather than just brand v brand when it doesn't really matter. Because
no, it don't really matter, because they've got one man who's apparently making his matches, and it makes no sense that he's trying to pick the teams for both shows. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Adam Pearce is like, oh, have you, yeah, whatever. I agree. I liked on SmackDown. Talk about SmackDown. I liked the Dominic Seth thing, which you said you liked that as well. I think that's one.
I said I like the Buddy thing.
Sorry, did I said Dominic, didn't I? I said Buddy.
Yes.
Buddy, I meant Buddy and Seth thing. I think that's one of the more compelling things really on WWE at the moment, is Buddy sort of where he's going to land. But
Buddy just wants to be loved.
Other than that, there wasn't really anything on SmackDown. The Roman J thing, which we've both been praising for like months, just didn't really do anything.
No, I like the initial thing when it come to Jay was doing the interview, and then all of a sudden Paul comes along and interrupts it. I like that couple of little back segments, but then it was just like,
Yeah, and it was pretty predictable how the Kevin Owens J match was going to go. At the end,
Yeah.
you sort of saw it coming. No, I agree. Yeah, I thought that I do like the power dynamic where like Paul Heyman thinks he's the mouthpiece and in charge, and then Roman comes and shuts him down. I like that. I think that's smart because it sort of differentiates Paul from who he's always been with Brock. So I like that, but they need to be smarter now because otherwise it's going to run the risk of becoming stale, becoming the same thing week in, week out.
The problem is what they did was hit this off, and then you hit a pay-per-view where you can't do too much with it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't really... Well...
Especially at the same point at this stage, they're trying to keep everyone separate until they hit that event because of what's going on.
And apparently... apparently they had planned for Roman and Jay just to be a one and done. They weren't supposed to face each other at Hell in a Cell at all because Hell in a Cell, apparently all the marketing material was out there for Roman versus The Fiend versus, I want to say Braun, but I could be wrong. But there was a triple threat match that Roman was supposed to be in at Hell in a Cell, and then they pivoted. Versus who else was it? Versus someone else. They actually done it one time on SmackDown, and then the next week it was like it never happened, where they had Roman take and The Fiend and all that appear on him, and then the next week it just disappeared. So they pivoted
because they disappeared to Raw.
Yeah, because they didn't think of the draft either. So then now they got Survivor Series coming, and then they did Hell in a Cell one way, and now they're lost again. So this is the problem with, despite what Stephanie McMahon says about we book 12 months in advance, them not booking even for 3 weeks in advance.
But they just don't stick to it.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to do this in 12 months, and then the next week, we're not going to do that anymore. Yeah, it's true. NXT,
it started off a bit slow. The next thing, getting to the second half, it sort of goes off with the new faction. They're getting ready to retire the Undisputed Era. I can't wait for them to return. I really can't. I'm waiting for that moment.
That's going to be a good match.
To then, the sad point of the tank taking a long time to break.
That was so funny. Yeah,
but it was very emotional for me.
I thought Shotzi. I thought Shotzi was so good with the fact she was just melting down in the ring as
it was Tony Storm that got me. She was like, "What the fuck do I do?"
Yes, looking like Candice is slowly driving over this freaking tank in like a Hummer.
There's something. If she actually went and hit it with the wheel, maybe the first time.
Yeah, not just sort of nudge it with the bumper. There was a lot of stuff in the show which I did actually enjoy. I enjoyed Ember Moon and Dakota Kai. I thought that was really good. I thought that was like very hard hitting.
It was very good. Every show had good matches on it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm also like that. All right.
I don't think. Again, I think NXT was the strongest show of the week. I don't think there was much storytelling there either, really, other than.
No, you had a few bits a bit later on, but
right, yeah, exactly. I think Drake Maverick and Killian Dane with Dunn, Pat, Oni, and Danny was good. I thought that was good. There was a nice little story there, but other than that, it is like I think I know there's been lots of excuses in that people have just said, oh well, lots of the shows just sort of didn't care this week because they knew they were going to get trounced in the ratings by the by the election coverage.
Well, that's not an excuse. You turn a TV show, you put on the best stuff you can every time.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, and also neither NXT nor AEW actually really took a hit. They took a minor hit, but not even remotely like what people thought. Like, yeah, okay, they weren't in the top 50 because the top 50 was all news, but their actual ratings didn't really drop from the week before, which says a couple of things. Wrestling fans are going to watch wrestling over everything, or they just don't care about politics.
No, Feds, you can watch a 2-hour show and then still come back and watch that fucking thing. It goes on for
it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going.
It took fucking yesterday to get somewhere.
That's true. And like I heard like Dave and Brian trying to read a million things into it, but I'm not being funny. I sat here and I watched. What did I watch?
Dave tries to look into everything every time, and 9 times out of 10 gets it fucking wrong.
Yeah, I watched NXT live on my TV there and on my computer here. I had CNN on my computer, so You can do two things at once in 2020. Weirdly, you
Oh,
can.
you
You
weren't
can.
watching AEW then?
No, I watched AEW the next day, which is weird, right? I don't know. It's because, do you know what it was? It was Halloween Havoc hooked me last week so much. I loved that show so much last week that I was like, I want to see what else they do with it. A bit disappointing in a lot of it, but yeah, that was it. It shows you what can actually happen if a show's good and it hooks you. Because I was literally like, oh, I got to see what happens after Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, as I say, I was more excited to be watching NXT at the moment than I was for AEW.
Yeah, and as we said just before we went on air, this wasn't a go home show. AEW didn't give us a go home show.
No,
it was fine, whatever. There was good in ring work as there always is, but there's no story. There was no stories really being driven other than a little bit between the Bucks and FTR, a little bit between Moxley and Kingston, but it was pretty much recycling stuff, right? It was nothing new.
There wasn't much exciting for it. As I say, there was good matches, things, and a few key points, and it was the same thing for each show, really. The only difference was NXT had a few more exciting things that happened in a row.
And you know what things when I watch a go home show, I always want it to be like action packed and story driven, right? Like you want it to be exciting to make you want to watch a pay per view, and you want them to have a very clear story that they tell you, so you can go, oh, okay, this is why I care about every match.
Well, I watch AEW and you sort of thing. You don't realise the actual pay per view is on Saturday.
Yeah,
Probably
no,
why
I agree.
Forgot it was on last night, and I screwed myself over today.
No, I agree. And the thing is about Full Gear, which we'll talk about Full Gear now, was that I think it was a very good pay per view, but I didn't go into the pay per view caring about every match on the card, not even close.
To be honest, I only cared about mainly one, and it started the match.
Hangman versus Kenny, right?
Which is probably one of the best matches on the show. And those two tore each other apart, and any one of those at those times could have won that match.
And I thought it was so well timed. It was like 16 minutes long. It wasn't.
To be honest, there was only one that was just short of half an hour, and that was the tag team match, and it actually worked quite well. Yeah. And then there was one that was 9.5 minutes, which was Orange Cassidy and Silver.
Yeah, I was very surprised by this.
Fucking funny. It's
great. I was very surprised by this whole show with the fact that I would have laid money on the Bucks and FTR going 45 minutes. I really would have just expected them to go.
I was expecting most of these key matches being like half hour long, sort of thing. And
I think this was their best time, because I find a lot of the time I get bored halfway through a lot of their matches because it becomes very repetitive. Finisher, kick out, and I sit there going, okay, I'll come back to it in a minute, and it will still be going. I didn't think of that really on any match. Maybe a little bit on the Bucks FTR, but nothing.
Well, no, the thing is, the Bucks and FTR one worked quite well because both their different sort of styles. You had the Young Bucks that could go quite quick, to then have the FTR that would try and slow your match down and try and it worked.
So we'll start from the top with Hangman and Kenny. I thought it was a very good match, and I think, as we both said about last week, I would like Hangman to win, but both kind of assumed Kenny was going to win.
Well, I was like, actually, no, I stayed. I wasn't too sure which one was going to win.
Actually,
but I was thinking about why this match was going on. Kenny wins because no matter whoever was going to win this match is going to be the one that probably takes the belt off of Moxley.
Yeah.
But it makes sense actually for Kenny to win when you build Hangman up for like the next sort of say 5 months to be the one that ends up taking the belt off of Kenny.
Yeah.
You have a decent little rivalry between those two.
Yeah, I mean, the next pay-per-view isn't till February 27th.
What, really?
Yeah, Revolution. They announced it last night, which is...
Why does Revolution keep happening in February, not January?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was in Chicago this year for Revolution on February 26th. So February 27th next year, which is, it seems so soon. It's come so quickly this year. It's not really that long. But as you say, 4 months. So if Kenny actually picks up the win against Moxley on like a television special, like they do every other month, and then they can build for Revolution, that could be kind of cool.
Well, yeah, I'm quite happy. I'd be honest. Let's be like, everyone's enjoying watching those two go toe to toe. So.
Yeah. Darby versus Cody. I tell you what, this one took me by surprise.
Thing is, it makes me nervous as well, though, because I looked at it like this. I was like, if I was the owner of a wrestling company, when you got the person who's, because don't get me wrong, I love Darby, I love how good he is annoying, but what he does outside the ring, where it can make him very injury prone, would I want to put the title on him?
I
Especially when he keeps getting himself run over by a car.
I thought exactly the same thing. That was one of the first things that came to my mind as well. Was I've sung Darby Allin's praises since the first time I saw him, but the man isn't very reliable in the sense of he's going to go out and he's going to hurt himself at some point.
Because literally all you've had is videos for build up to do with all of this from him, and each one of them involves him either getting run over,
yes,
putting himself in a body bag and jumping off of something.
Yes. Yeah. I was a bit perplexed by it. I didn't get it in the sense of this wasn't their best match. This wasn't Cody and Darby's best match. I think their best match was definitely their first one. I don't know. I found the finish to be a bit bizarre with the roll ups.
Well, to be honest, if you look at it through bits of things, it keeps going the same way. Their matches on. It's just Cody getting frustrated with him because
he won't die.
He won't stay down.
Yeah,
well, you want him to die.
But it's like he just won't die, just won't stay down. And I just found it a bit odd that's now they've gone to that well 3 times. And the commentary, it could be a commentary thing as well, in that they're not telling that story, which I think your story is perfect. I think that's true. They're not really telling that story like they probably should be. I'm glad he's champion. I thought the beatdown at the end was good. I like the fact that Ricky Starks and Brian Cage are they both held the title, and I like the fact that they were both holding the title, and Taz come and took it, and JR was like, "It's not either one of yours yet, you dumbass." Yeah, exactly. It's like they're arguing over it. None of them even have it. I thought that was good. I thought this is a really good. I thought it was a really good match, and then we had Orange Cassidy, John Silver.
Yeah,
which was funny. It's a bit light-hearted stuff in the middle.
Fun, enjoyable match. It was something I think we needed after the TNT match.
Yes, and John Silver stole Orange Cassidy's pockets and ate them.
Yeah, and stuck them in his mouth. I hope his pockets were clean.
Yeah, well, that was the best thing. Jim Ross going, he's been wearing those for 4 months. I thought, okay, fair enough, whatever. It is weird to me, though, how quickly Orange Cassidy went from Chris Jericho in a main event to a John Silver comedy match, mid-card. That was very quick, how quickly he managed to make that descent down the card.
I don't know. You could say it's quite a descent because Silver's been putting himself up there, and I think actually making himself one of the most popular part for manager in a.
Okay, probably unfair, but
order.
Probably unfair, but in the sense of, and not really a high-profile match, How he just knocked himself out of the high-profile matches. That's what I really should mean, yeah.
I don't think he really needs the high-profile matches at the moment. He's now that caliber one they've got to come to. So he's now that guy that these ones need to come to. So
yeah, but it's like they don't really go full bore with anyone other than your Moxley and your Elite. Really, it's just. That's
elite.
it.
There's not really much people elite there, really, is there?
Yeah, your former Elite, I should say. And we had the Hardy versus Sammy Guevara.
Well, it's just a reverse from last time anyway, that end part.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed Gangrel and Hurricane making a little cameo.
I was almost getting upset because the updated boat didn't show up, and then it did.
And Senor Benjamin was there at the end. I thought it was good. That hit, though, as you say, that hit by Hardy to Sammy with that chair at the end.
It was not even the help with the chair. It was like when they did the thing out of the ring. Because originally when they did it, I thought it looked like from when formality ran, there was 2 tables set up, which would have made sense after the last fiasco they all did. To turn out, no, there was only one. And once again, one of these guys' skulls missed the table and landed on the concrete.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure Hardy just twatted him in the nose with a chair as well, which was
his nose was already busted open when he went through.
Yeah.
But literally, I actually don't. I think he may have missed the concrete when he was supposed to do the chair shot, because I'm pretty sure he hit him back in the back of the head.
You can see he made contact with the back of the head because you could hear the ding on the chair. Yeah, these two, I hope they're done now, because otherwise someone is dying with those two, because you know how,
well, we know it ain't going to be Matt Hardy, because Matt Hardy doesn't die.
Yeah, you know how they always talk about people having just the best in-ring chemistry, and they don't even have to think about it. These two have chemistry, but it's a very weird chemistry in that someone dies every time. Someone gets very hurt. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Again, I liked seeing Shane Helms and the Hurricane and Gangrel and stuff. Well, that was smart. I thought that was fun. And then the Bucks versus FTR.
Well, that was a good match. As I say, you had the good balance, and I like the way they did the injury on Dawson's hand.
Yeah.
And then they did the work between the storytelling through that match was really, really good. And as I say, the pace between the Young Bucks being quick and the over guys slow it down until Cash decided he'd do something that he's against.
He'd do a flip, yeah. And do you know what I got to praise Matt Jackson for the fact that he actually managed to continue. I know it's been a legitimate injury as well, but he continually sold that foot injury throughout the entirety of the match. He actually didn't stop selling it, which is
that's because Matt Jackson always wrestles injured. He knows how to do it.
yeah. But it's quite fresh in the fact that most people, when they're injured, they forget about their injuries halfway through, and then they go, "Oh God, yeah, I'm injured, aren't I?"
Be honest though, Dawson was doing a great thing with his hand too, though.
Yeah,
not quite sure how he managed to split open all his fucking hand though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a real injury though. So that's
well, no, there's certain bits just afterwards. He does the bit where he tags back in after seeing the doctor, and he does the hour, and then all he's punching him, and he's like that. It stops. All of a sudden, after that, he ends up saying, "I don't get how he split his hand open."
No, neither do I. He obviously just caught it on something, but no, yeah, I thought it was a good match. It's not normally my kind of match, but I really enjoyed it because of their clash of styles, and I think they just told an incredibly good story, as you say, like Dash going up, doing the flip, missing it, and being caught. It's perfect. It's the perfect sort of thing, like him being desperate and going for those things which you wouldn't normally do. And
I reckon at the end of it managed to live up to the hype for being one of the great tag team matches with having a shit build up that all four of them admit there was enough build up to this thing. Yeah. Yep, those four did a great job in the ring to deliver on it.
They did, yeah. And FTR playing homage to some of the best tag teams ever, playing homage to the Hart Foundation. DIY, they've done DIY's finishing move.
They did several different ones in there.
They did the British Bulldogs. Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant.
But they weren't the only ones, because then you had the Young Bucks do the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Like getting all that stuff in. I thought it was really good. And MJF versus Chris Jericho. I love this. I thought this was just incredibly good.
Well, yeah, it's good two little hills and a good way on how it all ends. So
yeah, I think that finish to the match was just beautifully done. With the ring and the bat, and an MJF being like and just jumping to the floor. Oh well, that was genius. And then the roll up.
So now there's two new people in.
Yeah, I did like it was like MJF and Wardlow are now in the inner circle, and JR was like, "Huh, Wardlow was included? Well, never said that before."
I did like the way MJF is now included in the inner and Wardlow.
Oh yeah. No, I thought it was great. We said it last week. Chris Jericho, MJF in the inner circle from the get-go. He made it very clear. He asked Tony Khan, or he gave Tony Khan his list of Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Santana Ortiz, and MJF, and he wanted MJF. And Tony Khan told him no, because he had other plans for him at the beginning, which fair enough.
Well, it worked quite well. They have a plan, so
built him up well, yeah, and brought in Wardlow with him and all that.
And I want to know where they go within a circle.
Yeah, same, because I don't know, they've been a bit fractured over the last couple months, with Sammy going off doing his thing, and obviously he was suspended for a while, but him going off doing his thing, Santana and Ortiz doing their own thing, so.
Well, I don't mind groups, sort of doing their own thing. Oh, no. Where do we go with them now? Especially now you've also got an extra two people in. What do you do with them?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see where they go. Jericho and MJF are going to work together well, regardless. But yeah, it's true. It's like how
What's
do
the
they bring
betting
them all
now?
back
The more
together?
storyline's going to be is they'll do their thing, but they keep clashing.
Oh yeah. They're both going to think that they're both in charge, and they're both going to headbutt each other. Yeah, it'll be fun.
With Jake and fucking Warlow fucking clashing as well.
Yes, yeah. And Mox versus Eddie Kingston.
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was a bit more tame than I thought it was actually going to be between what those two
are known for.
I thought they were generally going to more or less little guts everywhere.
I thought it was going to be like everyone moaning. I guess they were just a bit, because obviously this time last year at Full Gear, Moxley and Omega was, people either loved it or they hated it, because of how violent it was. And so I think they tried to like roll back a little bit, but I thought it was a good match. I thought Eddie Kingston I think Mox made Eddie Kingston look incredibly good as well. He let Eddie Kingston do so much that he made him look incredibly good.
Yeah, but when you trust somebody, you don't.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, there was one spot in there which I've never seen before, and I thought was a great idea, when they had all the thumbtacks and he had the isopropyl alcohol and he poured it on his back. I thought that was genius. Just because we all know how much that fucking stings.
At least his wounds are clean.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you should be thanking me.
He was caring.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And I thought, the barbed wire wrapping it around his hand, we see Mick Foley having done it and stuff. It was obviously wasn't like,
a lot of people that were more on the extreme part of it will do things like that. Let's not. It was a keen thing to do in ECW.
Yeah. No, I thought that was good. I thought, obviously, Mox picked up the win. I think that's the right call. Does a lot for Eddie Kingston, and sets up.
Let's be honest, as we stated, the person that's going to beat Moxley was whoever's won from the first card.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. So it sets up beautifully for Kenny and Moxley, and then beautifully for Kenny and Hangman down the end. So, even though, and do you know what's funny? Even though we can tell where they're going with it, it's not disappointing, because it's like, we know we want to get to this end result of Hangman. They've wanted it from the start. They've literally wanted it from day one, and they're taking their time and they're doing it. They're not rushing it, and I like that.
But I am wondering if Hangman will be back in the Elite. No, yes, where he was the first one. There's no offense. Where Kenny doesn't seem to come out very quickly unless they've won the match, does he? They needed help. He wasn't there first. Hangman comes out.
Yeah.
And then Hangman hangs back in the shadows when they win.
Yeah, he does. He's only there. He's only there for the good times. That's it. But anyway, that's really been the week. And when do we have Survivor Series? Survivor Series isn't for another few weeks yet.
No, we ain't got fucking full teams yet, mate.
No. Next week they haven't really announced much. AEW have announced a little bit. They announced, what was the name of that match they announced between Dustin and. It was something really bizarre.
And it began with a B.
Yeah, and I was like, I have no idea what the hell that means. In a bunkhouse match.
Oh, that's the one.
QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes in a bunkhouse match. Also, I should say that obviously Jake Roberts was on the show, but he's seriously ill right now. He's on oxygen. He's seriously ill. So that was obviously recorded long before the show.
Corona thing, is it?
No, but not. But he was saying he basically put out a video message just to say, stop smoking, people. Don't smoke like I have for all my life, because it does wonders to your lungs in the end, and it catches up to you in the end. So yeah, he's not doing great at the moment, and so it looks like he's going to be off TV for the foreseeable. So don't know what this means they're going to do with Lance Archer, but
so that means he's joining Taz, yeah?
Yeah, probably would. It probably makes sense at this point, wouldn't it? But anyway, that was this week in wrestling. Please, if you haven't, like and subscribe to this video here. It means a lot. Head on over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. And we will see you next week for another video. We are out.